In a German museum today rests the throne once used by Satan himself. And if you think that's wild, wait till you hear about some of the most astonishing banned biblical books ever discovered. Among them is the Book of Giants, a fascinating text closely related to the Book of Enoch, but likely older, with only fragments remaining in Aramaic, discovered among the Dead Sea Scrolls dating back 2,200 years. Considered pseudepigraphal by Christians, meaning it's not recognized as a genuine religious text, except by Manichaeism, a fascinating blend of Christianity and Zoroastrianism. The Book of Giants unfolds in the pre-flood world, delving into the lives of giants and the activities of angelic beings known as the Watchers who descended to earth. It's a rich narrative featuring Enoch and several giants, offering intricate details rarely found in the official Bible. This depth of storytelling might explain why it was excluded from the biblical canon. It elaborates extensively on the Nephilim, depicting them almost like characters from a fantasy novel. According to the book, the Nephilim were not just large but monstrous, wreaking havoc on humanity and the natural world. One giant, Marweh, even prophesied the coming flood in terrifying visions, seeking guidance from Enoch. Despite warnings from Enoch and the angelic watcher Semyaza, who had taken human wives, repentance was refused. This defiance led to divine intervention, God's decision to flood the world to cleanse it of wickedness. While the Book of Giants isn't considered scripture by mainstream Christianity, it was embraced by Manichaeism as part of their canon. Founded centuries after Christ, Manichaeism viewed the universe as a battleground between good and evil, blending elements of Christian and Zoroastrian beliefs. This alternative perspective welcomed texts like the Book of Giants, which the Catholic Church deemed heretical. This version maintains the intrigue and details of the original while presenting the information in a more accessible and engaging manner. The Book of Revelation and the Throne of Satan. Revelation 2:13 mentions, "I know where you live, where Satan has his throne." This passage suggests that Satan's throne was located in a specific earthly city. Surprisingly, some biblical scholars speculate that this throne is none other than the Great Altar of Pergamon, housed today in the Pergamon Museum in Berlin, Germany. Though historically known as the Great Altar, many interpret it as the physical representation of Satan's throne described by the prophet John in Revelation. Pergamon, once a prominent city perched on a Turkish mountainside overlooking the Aegean Sea, was renowned during Christ's time. It rivaled cities like Alexandria and Antioch, flourishing with scholars and a booming economy. The Great Altar of Pergamon, a marvel from the Greco-Roman era, stands as a colossal structure resembling a grand throne fit for a deity, perhaps even an ominous one. While some believe it was associated with the Temple of Zeus, its true purpose remains a subject of archaeological debate. John of Patmos, author of Revelation, conveyed messages from the risen Christ to 7 Christian congregations in Asia Minor, modern-day Turkey. In this message, Christ commends the faithful for persevering amidst the influence of Satan's throne. Early Christians, including Antipas, Bishop of Pergamon, faced persecution in this city, viewing it as a hub of malevolence. The missing books of the Protestant Bible. Did you know that the Protestant Bible excludes 7 books found in Catholic Bibles? During the 16th century Protestant Reformation led by Martin Luther, the Church split over beliefs regarding biblical authenticity. Luther, skeptical of the historical accuracy and divine inspiration of certain texts, omitted what are now known as the deuterocanonical books, Tobit, Judith, 1st and 2nd Maccabees, Wisdom of Solomon, Sirach, and Baruch. This decision raises a significant question. Who determined which books were divinely inspired? The Council of Rome in 382 AD was pivotal in establishing the first official list of canonical scriptures. These books, originally part of the Septuagint, a Greek translation of the Hebrew Bible, served as a foundation for New Testament authors. The Septuagint's influence on biblical scholarship underscores its complexity and historical significance. The Septuagint, a pivotal work in biblical history, is said to have been commissioned by Pharaoh Ptolemy II Philadelphus of Egypt around the 3rd century BC. As the son of Ptolemy, a general under Alexander the Great, an ancestor of Cleopatra, Ptolemy II played a significant role in antiquity. He reportedly employed 72 Hebrew translators, 6 from each of the 12 tribes of Israel, to create the Septuagint. This translation remained influential for centuries until Pope Damasus II convened the Council of Rome 600 years later. At this council, the books of the Vulgate Bible were finalized, shaping Christian scripture for the next millennium until the Protestant Reformation later removed 7 books. Hitler's dreaded book. Among the books of the Bible, one struck particular fear into Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, the Book of Esther. So unsettling was this text to them that they banned its circulation. What makes the Book of Esther unique within the Old Testament is the absence of direct mention of God throughout its narrative. Despite this, it recounts a gripping tale set in the Persian Empire during the 4th century BC, a century after the Babylonian exile of the Israelites. The story revolves around Mordecai and his niece Esther, who becomes Queen of Persia after winning a royal beauty contest. The antagonist, Haman, a powerful Persian official of Canaanite descent, plots to exterminate the Jewish population. Esther, concealing her Jewish identity, maneuvers politically to foil Haman's genocidal scheme. The narrative climaxes with Haman's downfall and the establishment of the Jewish festival of Purim. What truly unnerved Hitler and the Nazis was the book's depiction of Jews overcoming a planned genocide through political intrigue and divine intervention. This narrative of survival and justice struck at the heart of Nazi ideology, which sought to exterminate Jewish people globally. Consequently, the Nazis sought to suppress and ban the Book of Esther, fearing its potential to inspire defiance and resistance among Jewish communities. The Forbidden Book of Judas. Did you know that Judas Iscariot wrote his own gospel? Most are familiar with the 4 canonical Gospels in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, that depict Judas as the betrayer of Jesus, leading to his arrest and crucifixion for a handful of silver coins. However, there exists another gospel that offers a strikingly different perspective, the Gospel of Judas. Written around the 2nd century AD, about a century after Jesus' crucifixion, this gospel portrays Judas not as a villain, but as a faithful disciple fulfilling a divine role. In the Gospel of Judas, Judas is depicted as obeying Jesus' instructions when he betrays him. Far from being condemned, Judas is portrayed as integral to God's plan for salvation. Discovered in a cave in Egypt in the 1970s, this text, written in Coptic as part of a larger codex, was considered heretical by early church leaders and subsequently banned. It challenges the conventional narrative of events leading to Jesus' crucifixion and offers a provocative alternative perspective. These texts are just a few examples of the many books that have been excluded or banned from the Bible over the centuries. Each presents a unique and often controversial viewpoint on biblical events and figures, offering insights into the diverse and complex early Christian world. Excavation in Tarsus, a city with a 10,000-year history, unearthed significant finds. Nearby, the ruins of Donus, home to a 2nd century BC Mithraic temple, sit close to the site. Tarsus is renowned as the birthplace of St. Paul, the unofficial 13th apostle, who played a pivotal role in early Christianity. In 2008, Pope Benedict XVI and Vatican officials visited Tarsus to honor St. Paul's legacy. Known for writing 14 of the 27 books in the New Testament, St. Paul's contributions shaped the foundation of the Church. Legend has it that St. Paul compiled his writings with the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John to create the first comprehensive New Testament. This original manuscript, known as St. Paul's Bible, is a profoundly significant artifact. However, speculation abounds regarding its contents and differences from the modern Bible. While rumors suggest the Vatican may have secretly excavated the Red House in Tarsus, purportedly where St. Paul stored his original Bible, such claims remain unverified. The Peculiar Tale of Abraham. Among the banned biblical books is the Testament of Abraham, viewed as non-canonical by most, but accepted by Beta Israel, Ethiopian Jews. This book portrays Abraham's humorous attempt to evade death. When the angel Michael is tasked with informing Abraham of his impending demise, he hesitates and instead strikes a deal with God to relay the message through Abraham's son, Isaac. The story unfolds with Abraham negotiating with death and ultimately accepting his fate with a unique twist, a kiss that leads to his immediate demise and ascension to heaven. The Testament of Abraham is recognized for its entertainment value rather than theological significance, offering a glimpse into ancient storytelling customs. Do you have a favorite unconventional biblical story, canonical or otherwise? Share your thoughts below, and thank you for joining today's discussion. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating content from our channel. This version aims to maintain the intrigue and fascination of the original text while making it more accessible and engaging for readers. Niccolò Paganini. Niccolò Paganini's virtuosity on the violin was so extraordinary that many believed he had struck a deal with the devil for his unparalleled talent. Born in October 1782 in Genoa, Italy, Niccolò showed musical genius from an early age. He began with the mandolin at 5, picked up the violin at 7, performed publicly by 11, and embarked on solo tours at just 15. Among the 19th century's musical greats, Niccolò stood out as the undisputed best. While some dismissed the rumors of his pact with the devil, others speculated that his mother had made the pact on his behalf when he was young to ensure his unmatched skill. Yet whether through supernatural means or innate prodigiousness, Niccolò's talent was undeniable. Historical records show he studied under renowned violinist Alessandro Rolla at 13 but quickly surpassed his mentor's teachings. Despite his early success, Niccolò's life took a darker turn. His fame brought struggles, and he spiraled into alcoholism, womanizing and gambling. Rumors even circulated that he had committed gruesome acts, like using a woman's intestines as violin strings and trapping her soul within his instrument to haunt his performances. John Fenn and the North Berwick witch trials. In 1589, King James VI of Scotland's marriage plans were thwarted by storms that delayed Princess Anne of Denmark's journey. Blaming malevolent witches, King James oversaw witch hunts in Denmark and Scotland, culminating in the infamous North Berwick witch trials. He personally supervised the trials and sanctioned torture, aiming to rid his realm of supposed demonic influences. Among the accused was John Fenn, implicated by Gillis Duncan, who confessed under torture. John endured brutal torture, nearly succumbing until pine needles were allegedly found under his tongue, a supposed spell to resist confession. Following their removal, John confessed to having sold his soul to the devil for supernatural powers, including bewitching men and even purportedly seducing a cow. These confessions sealed his fate, and despite the ordeal, John Fenn was sentenced to death for his alleged crimes. This version aims to maintain the intrigue and historical context while presenting the information in a more accessible and engaging narrative style. Jonathan Faust. Jonathan Faust, a German occultist of the 15th century, is the origin behind the term Faustian bargain, synonymous with making a pact with the devil for one's soul. Born around 1466 or 1480 AD, exact birth date uncertain, he first appeared in historical records in 1506 AD, where he was apprehended for practicing magic and astrology in Gießen. Over the next 3 decades, Faust's name surfaced across Germany, often in roles like a physician, philosopher, astrologer, and alchemist, frequently facing accusations of fraud and expulsion from towns. The church branded him a blasphemer and heretic, alleging he had sold his soul to Satan. When Faust died in 1540 or 1541 AD, dates uncertain, it was amidst an alleged explosion during a failed experiment, leaving his body gruesomely mutilated, attributed, according to legend, to Satan claiming his soul. During his lifetime, Faust was perceived as a man in league with the devil, his occult knowledge fueling rumours of infernal teachings. However, it was only a century after his death that Johann Spies wrote of Dr. Johann Faust's pact with the devil, cementing Faust as a legendary figure in folklore and pop culture. Pope Sylvester II. Pope Sylvester II, born Gerbert of Aurillac in 946 AD, rose from a scholar and teacher in France to become Bishop of Rome and ruler of the Papal States from 999 AD until his death in 1003 AD. Noteworthy for his contributions to education, Sylvester II revived the study of arithmetic and mathematics in Europe, reintroducing the abacus and pioneering the decimal numeral system. In 996 AD, he is credited with inventing the first mechanical clock. Yet Sylvester II's legacy is also shadowed by legend. During his studies in Seville, Spain, he purportedly delved into astrology and, according to myth, acquired a book of spells from an Arab philosopher. It's said that during this time he encountered a female demon named Meridiana and engaged in a supernatural dice game with the devil. Legend holds that his victory in this game ensured his ascension to the papacy, making him the first French pope. Despite his contributions, Sylvester II faced opposition. He was driven from Rome by nobles and, upon attempting to reclaim his position, met his demise. The Devil's Book and the Salem witch trials. In Puritan mythology, the concept of making a covenant with Satan involved signing one's name, either with ink or blood, in the Devil's Book. This act was believed to grant demonic powers or initiate one into witchcraft. Nowhere is this concept more infamous than in the Salem witch trials of the 1690s, where Puritans equated signing the church membership log with entering a covenant with God. In their beliefs, Satanists and witches similarly had to sign their names to seal their pact with the devil. In March 1692, Abigail Williams testified in Salem, accusing Rebecca Nurse of attempting to coerce her into joining a coven by signing the Devil's Book. The mere possession of this mythical book was considered damning evidence of witchcraft. When Giles Corey faced accusations in April that he had appeared to Mercy Lewis as a spectral figure urging her to sign the same book, it further fueled the hysteria. Despite no actual sightings, belief in the book's existence was widespread, leading to tragic consequences. Giles Corey was pressed to death for refusing to plead, while Rebecca Nurse was hanged on July 19, 1692. In the 17th century Loudun possession, Urban Grandier was central to a scandalous trial where a purported pact with the devil, signed by him and several demons including Leviathan and Ashtaroth, played a crucial role. A parish priest accused by nuns of demonic pacts and abuse, Urban faced exorcisms that turned into a spectacle, ultimately culminating in his burning at the stake in August 1634. Simundur Sigfusson, known as Simundur the Learned, was born in 1056 AD in Iceland. Educated in France, he returned to found a school and contributed significantly to Icelandic and Norwegian history. Despite his scholarly achievements, Icelandic folklore portrays Simundur as a cunning figure. Legends tell of him tricking the devil into transporting him from Europe to Iceland disguised as a seal. Simundur's wit shone when, just before touching land, he struck the devil, in seal form, with a Bible, ensuring his own safe arrival. This tale, enduring through centuries, reflects Simundur's cleverness in Icelandic cultural lore. Which would you choose? To be the world's greatest and richest musician but never experience love, or to be the most hated person with immense wealth? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe. The Speed Demon. In the 17th century, the Dutch Empire was rapidly expanding worldwide, with colonies on every major continent. Their most profitable colony was Batavia, now Indonesia. Despite having access to the world's finest spices, their success hinged on speed. The faster a captain could transport goods between ports, the greater the profit. Competing fiercely with Portugal and England, speed equaled wealth. Initially, the journey from Indonesia to the Netherlands took about a year. Then, in 1678, Captain Bernard Fokker completed the voyage in less than 4 months. He sailed from Indonesia, across Africa, through the Indian Ocean, and back to Europe. An astonishing feat that surpassed all others. Rumours quickly spread that Fokker had struck a pact with the devil to achieve such unprecedented speed and wealth. Even today, his remarkable voyage remains shrouded in mystery. Jonathan Moulton. Jonathan Moulton is a prominent figure from New Hampshire's history in the 18th century. Rising through political ranks, he was known for his cunning manoeuvres. He persuaded Governor Benning Wentworth to grant him vast lands, now known as New Hampton, and changed allegiances opportunistically. Initially defending New Hampton during the Revolutionary War, he later sided with the Continental Army at the Battle of Saratoga. A wealthy figure of his time, Moulton's origins and activities are cloaked in mystery. Legend has it he accumulated wealth through trade and may have been involved in treasure salvaging along New Hampshire's coast. However, darker rumours persisted after his death in 1787. Buried in an unmarked grave, tales spread that Moulton had bargained with the devil, trading his soul for a yearly boot filled with gold. According to legend, Satan even stole his corpse from the grave, leaving behind a boot filled with gold as eerie testament to his pact. Gilles de Reyes, a once revered nobleman who fought alongside Joan of Arc during the 15th century Hundred Years' War, tragically became one of history's most notorious serial killers. After France's victory, Gilles de Reyes' life took a dark turn. He squandered his fortune on bad investments and a lavish lifestyle, leading him to desperate measures. Turning to the occult, he engaged in horrific rituals involving the sacrifice and dismemberment of children, seeking wealth through pacts with demonic forces. His atrocities came to light in 1440 when suspicions grew after he abducted a priest. He was convicted of murdering 150 children and executed, later inspiring the French tale of Bluebeard. What would tempt someone to trade their soul? Share your thoughts in the comments. The demon Pazuzu, believed to be one of the oldest demons, originated in Assyrian-Babylonian mythology around 1000 BC. Revered as a god, he was both feared and revered as the demon of the underworld, master of storms, and bringer of famine. Despite causing havoc, Pazuzu was also seen as a protector against the very calamities he unleashed, a dual role typical in ancient demonology before Christianity. In modern culture, Pazuzu gained notoriety as the demon possessing the girl in the 1973 film The Exorcist, despite his ancient roots predating Christian conceptions of evil. Archangel Gabriel. Archangel Gabriel holds a prominent role across Abrahamic religions as God's messenger, revealing important revelations and protecting believers. Known for delivering significant messages to prophets like Muhammad, Jesus, and Moses, Gabriel is a symbol of divine communication and God's will. In Christianity, Gabriel's announcement to Mary about the birth of Jesus and his role in Revelation as the herald of Judgment Day cement his importance. Modern Catholics honor Gabriel as the patron saint of communications, celebrating his feast day on September 29th. Gabriel's story diverges significantly as we move away from its original source. In Latter-day Saint theology, Gabriel was once mortal, known as Noah, who after death was resurrected as the angel Gabriel, whose offspring are considered angelic. In demonology and Christian tradition, the narrative is complex. One major issue arises from the differences between the earliest Bible texts and subsequent adaptations. Beelzebub, often synonymous with Satan, is now regarded as one of the 7 princes of hell in modern demonology. Interestingly, many well-known demons in Christian lore, from Baal to Asmodeus, were not mentioned in the Bible but evolved over the past 2 millennia from ancient civilizations' histories. Originally meaning Lord of the Flies in Hebrew, Beelzebub was depicted as a fly or insect in ancient texts, later ascending to a high rank in hell in Christian tradition. 16th-century occultist Johann Wehr even claimed Beelzebub led a rebellion against the devil and served as Lucifer's chief lieutenant. Wehr, a physician and demonologist, notably opposed the persecution of witches. In the Old Testament, Beelzebub was once a god worshipped in the Philistine city of Ekron, possibly originating as the god Baal, before his name transformed over time to become associated with Satan in the New Testament as the angel of the abyss. Abaddon, mentioned briefly in the New Testament's book of Revelation, translates to destruction or Apollyon. While sometimes associated with Satan, Abaddon is portrayed as the Lord of the Abyss, responsible for unleashing a plague of terrifying locusts during the apocalypse. In Hebrew scripture, Abaddon refers to a bottomless pit of the dead, while in Revelation, he commands an army of locust-like creatures described with human faces, lion-like teeth, and scorpion tails. Despite interpretations varying on whether Abaddon is a demon or an angel, Revelation symbolically depicts him as an angelic agent of God, tasked with bringing about the end of days. Astaroth, a prominent demon in demonology, ranks highly in hell alongside Lucifer and Beelzebub as part of the unholy trinity or dukes of hell. Originating from the Phoenician goddess Astarte, worshipped for love, war and justice, Astaroth's presence in demonology likely stems from ancient worship practices. The city of Ashtaroth in the Hebrew Bible, named after Astarte, reflects this ancient connection. As Christianity evolved, Astaroth was integrated into demonological texts in the 16th century, featuring prominently in demonology treatises like The False Monarchy of Demons, 1577, where he governs alongside Lucifer and Beelzebub in the dominion of hell. Archangel Raphael is revered as one of God's most compassionate angels, known as the Angel of Healing. His divine duty extends to comforting those afflicted by physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual challenges, guiding them towards God's grace. In the realm of addictions, Raphael is a beacon of hope, prayed to for strength and deliverance from despair. Ancient texts, including the Book of Tobit in the Bible, depict Raphael as a powerful healer who restored sight to the blind, provided spiritual and emotional healing, and exorcised a demon of lust, tormenting Sarah. In Islamic tradition, Raphael is celebrated as the master of music, praising God in countless languages. Artistically, Raphael is often depicted holding a staff symbolizing healing, or a caduceus representing the medical profession. Sometimes he is portrayed with a fish, referencing a biblical story where he used a part of the fish to cure blindness. In the non-canonical Book of Enoch, Raphael is tasked with healing the world after fallen angels corrupted it by mingling with humans, emphasizing his role as the healer of Earth's afflictions. Gadriel, mentioned in non-canonical texts like the Book of Enoch, doesn't appear in the official Bible. According to these texts, Gadriel was one of the rebellious angels known as the Gregori, who defied God and sired the Nephilim with human women. These giants, the Nephilim, were so abominable that God cleansed the earth with a great flood. Adrac, briefly mentioned in the Book of Kings, was a Semitic deity worshipped in the Assyrian city of Sepharvaim. Described as a heathen god demanding gruesome sacrifices, Adrac, and similar gods of Mesopotamia later became associated with demons in Christian traditions. ADRC is depicted in modern demonology as a fallen angel, sometimes humorously portrayed as overseeing Satan's wardrobe, with a mythical form featuring a donkey's head, human torso, and peacock's tail. Coronan. Meet Coronan, a demon you've probably never heard of, but whose origins are steeped in intriguing history. Born from the mystical musings of 16th-century occultists John Dee and Edward Kelly, Coronan emerged in Dee's visions where angels purportedly imparted esoteric knowledge. Dee, known for his prowess in mathematics, astronomy, alchemy, and occultism, served as an advisor to Queen Elizabeth I, delving into ancient magical texts and divination. Coronan, initially a mere scribble in Dee's writings, gained sinister prominence in the 20th century through Aleister Crowley, infamous for founding Thelema and his fervent summoning of demons. Crowley portrayed Coronan as the dweller of the abyss, a final test on the path to enlightenment for Thelemites, famously attempting to summon the demon in Algeria in 1909. Shamuel, the Angel of Peace. Shamuel, known as the Angel of Peace, symbolizes unconditional love, inner peace, and conflict resolution in spiritual realms. Often associated with romantic love, Shamuel's presence is depicted with heart symbols in Christian art. Curiously, Shamuel is absent from major religious texts of Judaism and Christianity, yet plays pivotal roles such as consoling Adam and Eve after their expulsion from Eden and comforting Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane. His sole mention appears in the Kabbalah, a Jewish mystical tradition where he is recognized among God's angels. The mystery lies in how Shamuel became embraced in Christian culture despite his obscure textual references. What are your thoughts on the history of angels and demons? Share in the comments below and remember to subscribe for more intriguing discussions. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.